Hello everyone and welcome to another game stuff video. It's been about a month since I did one and I hope everyone is doing okay and enjoying video games. I will start with a sad story because I think it's better to do it this way than finishing with a sad story. And that is Ubisoft has shut down servers for the Might and Magic 10 game. They've shut the servers down, and the problem with this is that because of DRM, players cannot access the game anymore, and that's a problem with a lot of games using DRM. People who have purchased the game and bought content for it now are left with a completely useless good because they can't use it. And this is the problem with a lot of games that require you to sign in to the internet and things like that, or sign into servers of any kind, so you can't play the games locally. And this is something that the community has been warning about for a long time, and sadly it's going to keep on happening until companies do it properly. Okay, I'm not a fan of DRM in general, but if you're going to use that, at least have a way of switching that off when you decide to shut the server so that people can still play the game locally. Because it's literally a scam. You know, you paid for something and now you can no longer use it. That's absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, coming from Ubisoft, it's not exactly a surprise. I mean, they haven't got a great reputation in many things. Let's be honest, and this definitely works against them. So really, really sad for the players of Might and Magic X. Moving on, we're going to another sad story for me personally. Nintendo has released or has announced their new model. I'm not sure if it's up for sale yet. I think pre-orders are now up. And it is not the upgrade for the Nintendo Switch that I had hoped to come this year. I was fairly excited because I wanted to finally own a Nintendo. It's been many years since I had a Nintendo Game Boy. It wasn't even mine, and that's really the only Nintendo console I've ever had. And I wanted a Switch because I wanted to try Zelda Breath of the Wild or finish Zelda A Link's Awakening or something like that. I can't remember the full title. I started playing that game, but I didn't get to finish it because I was playing it on my mate's console, and now it's not installed, plus it's having some issues with the controller. So I wanted to get my own console, and maybe Splatoon, or obviously a Mario game. I will definitely have to buy a Mario game, of course. But I haven't fully made up my mind, but I'm really not interested on this model because it's kind of the same hardware. Yes, it's nice that you can have a network port and a couple more things that they've added to it, but it's an hardware that is already outdated. And I don't know, personally, I might still get it, but I'm more inclined to getting a PlayStation 5 next year rather than buying a Nintendo Switch, which is a shame. Yeah, we'll see what I decide to do, but I'm really not interested on this model. Could still get it. Like I said, I haven't made up my mind, but it is most certainly not the upgrade that me and other players wanted to, or wanted to get. It is what it is, though. So yeah, we'll move on, and we'll move on to PlayStation. Or I clicked something there. Did something happen? No, I think it just refreshed the article. So on this one, this was a report that came back a few weeks ago now, with a lot of indie developers voicing their frustration with Sony and actually explaining. I think there was a Twitter thread about it. I don't know if they actually got it here. From someone well known within the industry, with how PlayStation treats indie developers. You know, the amount of money they have to pay, and the games are hard to get discovered. They haven't got any say on discounts and things like that. It's really bad, and I've been a fan of PlayStation for years, as I've said many times. But I really don't like the PlayStation these days. Yes, they still bring amazing games out. Absolutely, I'll give them that. And, you know, we have to give them that. But there's a lot of things that are happening that should not be happening, and they're not good for us gamers. And this is just one of those things. making life harder for indie devs is not really a good thing for us gamers. So really disappointed with Sony regarding this one. Remaining with Sony, we've got Cyberpunk 2077 back on the PlayStation Store. It's been out for a few months. Is that sincerely this year, since the end of last year, because of the problems that that the game had. But interestingly, and I was actually going to go to the store to find an image of this, but I decided against it. There's plenty online. But they literally have a warning when you go to the game page on a PlayStation Store, warning you about the performance issues and saying that on a base PlayStation 4 it is not recommended playing. That is quite. I mean, I've never heard of a game having that kind of warning in any store. You know, telling players that yeah, you can buy this game, but if you're buying this for this specific hardware, you're going to encounter problems, or you may encounter problems. So that's a bad one there for the Cyberpunk game and CD Projekt Red, which have had quite a few issues since this game came out. I think it was like kind of the start of quite a few things going downhill. But you know, it is back on the store, and I think it was the most downloaded game or something like that, either this month or last month. It would have been this month. Anyway, after it came out, it was, you know, everybody was buying it, which is fair enough. It's still a good game, absolutely good game, but it is kind of not what they advertised it to be, what players expected. It has left a lot of players with a sour taste. But yeah, it's still an absolutely good game, but probably don't play it on a base PlayStation 4 or even on a base Xbox One for that matter, because it does have quite a few issues. And there's a tweet there from PlayStation. Cyberpunk 2077 is now available at PlayStation Store. Work on the PlayStation 4, work on the PS4 version continues, with fixes and updates to be released throughout the year. For the best experience on PlayStation, playing on PS4 Pro or PS5 consoles is recommended. So yeah, stay clear of the base PlayStation 4. That's bad. It's really bad. And we're going to the free games this month. I mean, we're coming to the end of the month. I have not purchased them yet, and I'm going to try and do it today after I record this video, because I'm probably never going to play them. But the free games for the month of July are Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Not really interested in that, but I wouldn't actually mind playing it for, you know, a few hours just to see how the game is. I already didn't like the third one. And WWE 2K Battlegrounds, which is not something that I'm interested on at all. I like the WWE, I haven't followed it in years, but I prefer the other games, graphics wise, and that. So this is definitely not a game for me. But it's for free, and you know, if you guys like it, absolutely grab it. And the one that I'd be very interested on will be on the Plague Tale Innocence. This is something that this game is something that I would be very interested on, and they've just released they announced the sequel for this game earlier on this month or late last month. Was it at E3 or something? I can't remember. So something to look forward to, but I'll try and grab them even if I never get to play them, which is entirely possible. I'll try and grab at least these two games. I'll probably won't bother with WWE 2K. And for next month, for the month of August, it seems the game's been announced as well. This is the first month in a long time that PS Plus subscribers have learned of the next month's free PS Plus games so early. Yeah, even when I was actually getting this video ready, I came across this article and I was actually surprised. So I thought I'd incorporate it in a video. So we're looking at Plants vs Zombies Battle of Neighborville. Yeah. Not sure if that's the game I'm talking about, but Plants vs Zombies is a cool game. It's definitely worth the time. Tennis World Tour 2 was accidentally leaked. I'm not familiar with the game. I've never really played a tennis game other than someone on an Nintendo a while back. It's kind of like a party game with my mate. It was sometime last year, I think. And Hunters Arena Legends, which is a battle royale not my type of game. I'm not familiar with that specific game, but I don't like battle royales anyway. But if it is your thing, and again, it will be for free, so definitely worth grabbing if you find it to be worth it. Next, we'll move to, of course, something about Electronic Arts and the outrageous upgrade system that they're using for FIFA. So to get the FIFA 2022 next gen upgrade, you will need to buy the Ultimate Edition, which is £90, as you can see on this article, or $100, whatever that is, which I think is really, really scummy. I've stopped playing FIFA years ago, but it's because of things like this that I don't play it anymore, because these things just really annoy me. Plus all the other problems when you pay to win FIFA Ultimate Team, which is what they want players to go to, because that's where they make their money, and it's absolutely ridiculous. You should, if you buy the game, just get the next gen upgrade as part of it, or if you want to do it, I don't know, charge £10 for it or something, which is brings me back, I can't speak, to something that actually I did not bring a post up on this. But Ghost of Tsushima coming out with a new, it's called Director's Cut, more on that later. And the game costs like £10 or £20 or whatever to upgrade, and you actually get some new content or something along those lines. That's kind of acceptable, but this is not acceptable. This is complete baloney, so absolutely ridiculous. And we got to actually, yeah, it's kind of from what I was talking about, the new Death Stranding, let's say not remaster, but whatever, upgrade, which they've decided to call it Director's Cut. I think calling games Director's Cut is just absolutely moronic and stupid. It seems to be what Sony's going with both Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding. Now this aren't Director's Cut. The Director's Cut was the game that Kojima released, and Hideo Kojima himself does not like this name and finds it stupid, just like most of us do, because it is stupid. And the game does have some new things, so literally just an upgrade. They could have called it almost anything else, but don't call it Director's Cut. So yeah, Hideo Kojima took to Twitter to say a Director's Cut in a movie is an additional edit to a shortened version that was either released reluctantly because the director did not have the right to edit it, or because the running time had to be shortened. Which, it is. In the game, it is not what was cut, but what was additionally produced that was included. Director's Plus, maybe they could have called it. So in my opinion, I don't like to call Director's Cut. And he's absolutely right, I completely agree with him. Just silly. I guess, it's going to be this niche thing for Sony probably going forward. But it is just a bad choice. Director's Cut on video games, that's a poor naming choice. And now we'll move on to the next article, which is a game that I've never played, and I've considered playing it in the past, and some of my mates advised me not to, just because of the time and all that. And I still haven't played it, and maybe I'll never play World of Warcraft. But the player base has been dwindling from the past year or so, and because I don't know if it's because, but I think the fact that players are waiting a long time to get expansions, and this last, I don't know if we even call it expansion, this last change that World of Warcraft released was not significant for the time of the players spent waiting for something new to come to the game. It was minimal. It was minimal changes, minimal upgrade. So players are unhappy, and Blizzard is having their own issues, as you may have come across very recently, actually, with a very disturbing report, and being a victim of a lawsuit from California, which is saying something. But yeah, with regards to the actual game itself, it seems a lot of players are going to other games, especially Final Fantasy XIV, which again, probably a game I'll never play, but if I was to play one of the two, I'll probably go to Final Fantasy. And it's a game that is still moving forward, and it's enhancing players' experience, and it's getting new content that players are happy to get. So it's natural that players will leave a game that is not really giving them that much anymore and going to something else. Personally, I'm not a fan of any of these games. I started playing recently the Elder Scrolls Online, which is more up my thing. I do like the story stuff of things, which is what I like about the Elder Scrolls series. And I've got the option of multiplayer, and I play with my mates, like I'll be playing on later, which is fine for me. It works perfectly. But obviously, you know, when players are unhappy with the game, they go on to something else. So I don't know what Blizzard will do on that, but they do need to do something. And we'll move on. That's what I was looking for, Tom Clancy. I should have deleted that. I couldn't find a proper article on this. You know, I watched a video on YouTube, I think it was from the Quartering, mentioning this. Or it may have been somebody else, actually, I'm not sure. That a lot of players are not happy that the norm Tom Clancy is being used. Maybe I should have had this earlier with the other Ubisoft article. This new Tom Clancy's X-Defiant is not what players wanted. They've been asking for Splinter Cell and other things that, you know, the fans are dying for, and instead they're bringing this, I don't know, battle royale type or whatever the heck this is, which it's like a you know, personally I describe this as a Borderlands rip-off with a Tom Clancy name on it. And one of the things that a lot of players are annoyed is this looks like a cash grab. You're putting the Tom Clancy name on it because you know that name. It's a big name, everybody knows, and you know, gamers know, and they will buy the game. But this isn't the Tom Clancy's game. Could have called it anything else and would have had an average reception, at least from the player base. But yeah, it wouldn't sell as much. You put the name Tom Clancy on a title, and you know you're going to increase sales, but you're also going to piss off a lot of people. I don't think Ubisoft cares. I mean, they've been having their own share of issues, and pissing off customers is something that they've become quite accustomed to, and quite good at, must I add. And moving on, we got some hardware news. Steam has released the Steam Deck, which is a very nice handheld device, which is basically a PC on a go kind of thing. It's quite powerful. And it looks great, and we don't know much about it. We've only got a review from IGN. It's IGN, and I'm sure they wouldn't do a harsh review on it because, you know, they'll lose possible not contracts, but they will lose access in the future to do such things. But it does look nice. The date it was announced was pretty much out of nowhere. Now, personally, you know, I don't know anything, but personally, I think they rushed the announcement because Nintendo Switch announced the OLED version of the Switch. So I think not to lose, you know, if you're a gamer and you've got a limited amount of money or whatever, and if there's a new console coming out, if you pre-order that, if you get that, you're not going to get another one. For most of us, we'll get one or the other. So Nintendo announcing pre-orders for the new Switch. I think it kind of rushed Steam, or put pressure on Steam, or at least Steam probably felt pressured to announce the Steam Deck, which is not even available for pre-order yet. I think it will be later in the year they'll be available for pre-orders. But they had to do that, so anybody that was thinking about getting a Switch, or maybe even certain of getting the new Switch, like, oh, there's this new Steam Deck coming out, maybe I'll wait a bit longer and see. Just putting that doubt on people's minds, so they might not rush into getting the Switch, and they might actually wait to get the Steam Deck. That's what I think. I could be completely wrong, you know. I'm just a guy talking on the internet, but for me it feels that way. Pricing wise, it's not bad. I think anybody getting it, I would recommend getting the $529 or the $649 versions, just because of the type of memory that you've got, only $399. So basically, the higher spec you get, you actually get the faster memory speed thingy, whatever you call it. So as you can see, so the basic one uses eMMC storage. The second one, the second model up, uses NVMe SSD, and then the 649 uses high-speed NVMe, you know, whatever high-speed stands for. But effectively, it's even, you know, faster. So Pricing is a little bit steep for a handheld, I will admit. But for anybody who doesn't have a gaming PC yet, maybe has a console or two, maybe is on last gen consoles and wants to move into PC gaming, maybe that's a decent trade-off, because you can just plug this in and game on your monitor as if you were on a PC. So you can have it on the go and still use it as a gaming PC. Obviously, you know, the other features that you will have on a PC, like, you know, other apps, browsing and whatever, that might not work as well. But for gaming, that's probably, I think it's a decent trade-off from what we've seen so far. Obviously, we need to see more. We need customers to get this. We need reviewers, genuine reviewers, not paid from these corporations, to actually give us a genuine review of the item. So we'll wait and see. But I'm not going to get it. But I definitely like the idea. I've always liked handhelds. As I said many times, I'm so disappointed with Sony for screwing up the PlayStation Vita. That was such a lovely piece of hardware. Nintendo Switch has obviously been doing well. So there is a market there. Will it succeed or not? I guess time will tell. And at the very end of this video, we'll finish off with the games with gold for this month, which is coming to an end. I have not gotten any of these yet, and I will not get. I'm a bit curious of Planet Alpha, but I don't think I'm going to get it. And this one, what is it? Rock of Ages, free Make and Break. Not interested. An Xbox game, which I'm not really interested on. It looks like kind of fun though, I must admit. And Midway Arcade Origins, not something that I'm interested on. But if you are, and if you have Game Pass Ultimate, or if you've got Xbox Live Gold, which is what I have, you might want to get them. So yeah. Well, in fact, this old one is already out because it's past July 15, so you won't be able to get that one. But yeah, a lot of gaming stuff. I'm not going to go into Steam because you've got the daily deals every day. And also, I was meant to plug this in at the beginning of the video and I forgot. There's a link below for my Discord channel, where I do try to post either videos from Xbox or Nintendo YouTube's channel, things like that, or articles that I come across. I try to post there. The actual PlayStation channel is very good in a sense that you know, it's linked to the PlayStation official Discord, and the news that they actually give us is actually quite a lot. That's a really good channel. There's so much stuff being published there every day. The Xbox, the Microsoft one doesn't work as well, and Nintendo don't post as much, which is a bit sad. But I always try to add things there, so feel free to join my Discord server, and we talk about all random stuff. Yes, I know it's mostly Naruto Online and all that, but we talk a lot about other stuff, and when we can talk about other games, then I'm always happy to learn what players are playing, and what they think of these games, or what they think about the industry, and you know, all those shenanigans. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Go to my Discords if you do wish to do so, and I'll see you guys in another video. Probably a Fable or Naruto Online, I will suspect, maybe ESO, who knows. And I'll try and do another one of these videos maybe next month or the month after, see what else happens. There's been a few things happening. I think there was a state of play from PlayStation, or something from Xbox as well, maybe. But I'm not really covering those. There's been some interesting announcements on it. Obviously, we know that Electronic Arts is reviving the Dead Space franchise. You know, the franchise that they killed it themselves, so they're now reviving it. Edo Tensei, I guess. So we'll see how that turns out to be. So there's a few good things happening in the gaming industry, and you know, just wish we had more time to play games. That's all I can say. So stay safe, take care, look after yourselves and your loved ones, and we'll see you on the next one.